What's going on, Army? This is your boy Martin, aka Level here, back today with another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing on with part 2 of the BTS universe. We are going to be going back and rewatching the Run official music video. Now, I have already reacted to this music video, so if you want to go see my initial impression, I will leave a link to that video in the description down below. Otherwise, we're going back to make sure if I missed anything and or these videos exclusively for the BTS universe. Again, my initial theory versus going back and rewatching and just having one new big theory to go off of, starting from the very beginning of the BTS universe to the very end. So let's not waste no more time. Do me a big favor, Army. Go ahead and hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, as all these things help with the channel moving forward. And without any further ado, let's get into the music video. I'm actually curious. I actually want to go back to see what I missed and how the heck did I miss it? That V scene at the very beginning, it seems a little bit more clear now. Based off of what we saw in the first part that I uploaded, I'm assuming with him going into the water like that, we're just falling into a pit now. That depression, we are starting to sink into that even more. I like how we get the shots of the birds. If you remember in the first part that I did, we get shots of birds. I assume they want to be free, and we get more shots of birds there. I can already tell where I missed some things that I want to go back and talk about. Tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me, bye, bye. I can't lie, this scene still leaves me a bit confused, but I might be onto something. Hold on. We're getting more and more shots of birds. I actually love this scene, bro. I really love this scene. Like imagine, like I said this in the first one, imagine you're just sitting there and BTS is destroying your car. I'd be freaking the hell out. I wouldn't even care about the car. I'd be like, that's BTS. Oh. Hold on. Okay, now with watching this one, hold on, bro. That little smile is adorable. That's an adorable shot right there. I love them running. Sing it, y'all. Wow. Wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, I didn't notice that. You guys are right. I gotta watch them in order because it makes it's making a little bit more sense. However, watching them kind of out of order allows me to go back and watch them in order to see again where I messed up, where I maybe was on the right track or missed something. Oh my God, in the last part that we did, Jin and Yoongi took a picture together. Suga was missing from that picture at the very end, and Jin was left confused as to why Suga is missing from this photo now. We get this picture of the 7 of them. However, when we see Jimin in the bathroom, it is missing Jin in the... I did not notice that. How stupid am I? Or did I? I don't think I caught that. And now this right here makes a little bit more sense, but we're going to get to that here in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go back and I'm going to tell you where I see things now as opposed to the first time. So like I said, from the very beginning of this reaction is where the last one ended. V had just gone through quite the debacle at his home, causing him to run away, right? Covered in blood, falling fast into that depression and sad and lonely state, that darkness, that pit. And even though the boys were there to save him, he will never be able to escape what has already been done. And because of that, it's going to be quite the battle to get out of that depressive state. One occurrence of the boys just coming to be with you after the incident just occurred does not cure what will essentially be a long time of regret and or pain and suffering. It's a temporary help. Don't get me wrong. I believe we are in the mind of V in this shot. Him falling into this water is him falling into more of that deeper pit and sadness and depression that eats him up inside. So when we see him fall, again, the beautiful moments that we saw him and the rest of the boys share in the part one isn't going to fix immediately the pain and suffering that he will be facing essentially over quite some time. It's going to be quite the battle. He's going to need them. He's going to need to believe in himself as well that he can get over this, but he's going to need them around as well to get him past and or through all that pain and suffering. Relying on others is always a solution as well to help get you out of your sadness, misery, suffering. When I see this shot now, again, with the homie Namjoon, I'm assuming, and I don't know if this is just another one of his jobs and or I don't think this is like his house or anything. Surely this isn't. I think this is maybe just a little job. Remember, he was working at the gas station in part one. This might be his little house. I don't know, and or just maybe another job for him. However, I do think that the homie Namjoon is suffering financially because if this is his home, this isn't the best, right? And at his age, he shouldn't be working late nights like that, like he did in part one, right? So if this is another job, this tells me that he's having to have multiple jobs just to make ends meet financially. If he's working nights at the gas station and this is his home, that's just as bad. Things are not looking right with the homie Namjoon financially, and I believe he is suffering. That's his pain and suffering at this time, is having to take on the responsibility of such finances at such a young age. And it doesn't seem like he has any help as well, because at least with V, we've gotten the sense of family. Even though he murdered his dad, there was a sister, and we know ultimately there was a mom. We don't know of anybody other than the boys in Namjoon's life at all. Again, the comment I made earlier, we see Namjoon here walk into this train cart. He opens it, and we see like the little hangout or wherever where the boys get together. Again, I think this is where they get together. Whole different kind of vibe when he gets here, right? And actually, with everybody right now, he's the only one smiling. From the demeanor he showed you a minute ago, outside of the train car, as opposed to now where he is with everybody, I mean, nothing but smiles. The demeanor has completely changed within him. Now, something else that I kind of noticed, but I want to go back and talk about just a little bit, were the subtle comments of a flower or a plant throughout this song. And we get one here. You are my only son, one and only in the world. I bloomed for you, but I'm still getting thirsty. It's too late. I can't live without you. Though my branch runs dry, I reach for you with all my strength. There are several comments like this about a plant or a flower, a life source of some sense that in real life, like a plant needs water and the sun to live. That metaphor and connection there of calling himself or comparing himself to a plant or a flower, the same way it needs its sun and its water to survive, these boys are relying on each other to survive. And just like a flower needs continuous love and nutrients in order to prosper, the same thing can be said about these boys as well. Like I said with V earlier, one time of them getting together is not going to cure and or make him forget what just happened with his dad. He's gonna need the continuous love and support, just like a flower, from his friends in order to survive. And that speaks not just for V, it's just the easy connection I can make right now, but for all the boys. They need each other. They are each other's water and sun. I like how at the same time, the water can be like a bad thing as well. Even though it can be a great thing, it can also be a bad thing. Whereas in this shot, at the same time, he talks about how his branches are running dry, we see V falling into a pit of water. However, it is not a good thing. It is a bad thing. He is sinking in his own thoughts misery and suffering. Whereas water can be good in this sense, it can also be bad as well. You know what's interesting is in part one, when we did the reaction, if y'all remember, I used the buddy system here, and that buddy system is going to play a very important part here in just a moment. Remember, V took the spray paint and kind of traced the image around Namjoon. They had traced again here as well, which if that is true, it's interesting because when they put him against the wall, they actually mark a line through him. Another rookie mistake that I made was not paying attention to the words and stuff that, or phrases that are on the walls. Wasted youth enter the void, which I think is also interesting because it's hard to make out exactly what this one over here on the left says. If you happen to know, please let me know in the comment section. But I think it's interesting how we are making connections to younger individuals with just these two phrases. The word youth here, and then toddlers as well. Very interesting. I don't really know what to make of it too much. Other than the fact that when I try to connect it to these boys, they're way too young to be going through the things that they're going through. At least in this movie sense, I feel like they are definitely like high school age, going through all the pain and suffering that they go through at a time of your lives where you should be, where you are a dependent, right? Relying on others, your parents, in fact, and or family to help take care of you and get you through life. They're having to go through all the troubles and suffering and everything else that a regular kid their age shouldn't have to go through. Now, this makes a little bit more sense now that I am watching it. With V being like the real major victim in the last episodes, I think Jin is trying to put the pieces together again to save him. I think as the savior, he is trying to put everything together in an alignment so that he can save V from all of this. I think that's what the House of Cards is. It's a puzzle. It's trying to figure out how exactly to save him. After he gets the House of Cards built, look at his face. He's filled with so much excitement and or joy just to see it all go crashing down in a matter of an instance. And again, I think this is where we kind of break the fourth wall here, where it may just seem like a simple moment he's having with the boys. This is when he breaks the fourth wall and looks at the camera. This is the realization of, I failed again. Kind of like when he saw the photo with Yoongi missing, reminding him that his efforts are pointless because he has failed. The same thing has happened here. This deck of cards is the picture with Yoongi missing in it. It's reminding him he has failed and is losing the battle, in this case, to save V. Because while all of this is going on, he's consistently sinking in the water, and him and Namjoon are spray painting, getting into a whole bunch of mischief. It shows the boys running. It flashes back to him. It shows to the boys running. I think these are visions that he is receiving of each of the boys suffering still and continuously despite his efforts to improve and solve everything. Now, what I do think is interesting is I didn't exactly know what the butterfly meant the first time I watched this, and I still kind of don't. But I think it's interesting that in the short film of here of on the stage, Butterfly is playing in the background. In the end credits of this music video, Butterfly is playing in the end credits. And then we get the picture of the card here of the butterfly. This is a signal. This was left here purposely for someone to notice. I think this was left by Jin to whoever may find it or is needing help. This is a signal and or a sign that help is coming and or look for the help as he is looking for you. I could be completely wrong, but I'm sure I am. And then again, this buddy system with Yoongi and JK. Remember where we saw JK blow out the flame for Yoongi, wanting to be there for him and help him? We see Yoongi being a bit destructive here. JK wanting to be there for him, hugs him, probably telling him to stop and calm down. This only makes Yoongi outraged and causes a scuffle between them, a fight. He's trying to help him. He's trying to be there for him, which makes me more sad if my prediction is correct about JK being lonely, because the only buddy and or friend that he felt like he probably had, he just lost him. After a big fight, now he literally has nobody. If his closest friend that was there for him the entirety of the on the stage and the first music video with I Need You is leaving him, then he legit has nobody. I also think it's interesting that when he throws the chair here, there's no flowers in the background, but there are flowers there in the next scene. Again, paying tribute to the flowers again. I don't know, to what Namjoon was talking at the beginning. We see the mirror shatter here. We see the deck of cards fall. Memories are crumbling like dried flower leaves. Again, the reference to the flowers again, the plants, leaves. And at the time that they're saying this, we see J-Hope in the hospital. Again, that love and support that he so much wishes for, he's not getting a lot of at this time. What we're about to see in a minute, I believe, is a vision that we are seeing, and or a fantasy or imagination taking flight in the homie J-Hope's head. I think he is in this hospital suffering. When we see him laying back, I think he is looking and or thinking of a better time, because his eyes are closed here. Either that or he's thinking back to a time when he had all that love and support that he's not getting at this time. I do think it's interesting that he's also laying on Jimin's lap here, and it looks like Jimin is the only one who's awake. Everybody else has their eyes closed as far as we can see. I may be wrong, and Jimin may have his eyes closed as well, but it does appear that he may be the only one awake, and he's supporting the head of J-Hope. The buddy system, again, they do a really good job of doing this. Who's the first one that hugs JK? Whose mint-colored hair is that? I still kind of have my same thoughts as I did in the first time I reacted to this video. When Jimin walks through here, I think this is a way of him falling back into that depression. Remember, this is where Jimin spends a lot of his time, around this tub, around this water. This is like almost his room of misery, honestly. The moment everybody's gone in or leaves, he's right back into that depression. Again, same way with V. Their love and support with him during this time is just enough to barely get through it. It's a temporary happiness. It's not permanent. It's going to take some work and time to get over all of this. Now, at the end of On the Stage in part 1, we see the homie V face his fear, jump off that balcony, and straight into the water. At the end of this music video, we see V emerge from that water. Hey everybody, Future Martin here. Sorry that you are not being able to see my face cam. I look like a wreck right now, but I'm actually editing the video when I wanted to go back and kind of talk about briefly this topic of V coming out of the water. Now, before he goes into the water, we kind of have an idea of who V is. However, just because he's come out of the water does not necessarily mean that he is the same V that we know prior to falling in. Remember, I think that this void that we're seeing right now with the water is his mind, and if he allows the darkness to consume and overtake him, he will come out an entirely different V with an entirely different mindset, which is why I think that we don't see V's face here. We see the backside of the homie. I think at this point, he has come out an entirely different V. This is no longer the V that we know prior to him falling in. I think at this point he comes out of the water, he is pretty much lost and completely gone. And another thing I forgot to talk about that I had to go back and talk about anyway was this shot right here. Remember when Jin noticed that Yoongi was missing from the photo, he was shocked. He was caught off by this. I don't think this is necessarily because he is the savior, and he's just kind of breaking that fourth wall, noticing that Yoongi's not in the photo, because when Jimin sees that Jin is missing from the photo, he doesn't even blink an eye. Instead, he burns the photo. He doesn't have the same expression that Jin had on his face after noticing that Yoongi is missing. I think this is because Jimin, like V, is so far gone despite everyone being together and the efforts that Jin is literally missing from the photo, hinting that him and Jin are so far from each other that it's almost kind of wiping Jin from existence. Because this happens, this is telling me that Jin is not only failing, he could not be any more farther from saving the homie Jimin. So much so that he's even disappearing and or being forgotten from these photos as well. Another thing I kind of want to talk about, being a small theory outside of the big theory that I have, is when the boys are all hanging out with each other, I think these beautiful moments that we are seeing are visions and or past memories of them all together. It's hard to tell, but I believe these happy moments, quote unquote, are in the past. And when we see like Jimin in the tub burning the photo, J-Hope in the hospital, those are all scenes that are currently happening right now. These great moments are all memories that they are calling back to and or looking back to as a sense of hope and or way to help maybe elevate them, get them out of their dark moods, and trying to move forward. Because even though they can rely on each other to help them get out of their sticky situations, at the end of the day, they must have to face themselves. They're the ones that have to muster up the courage to want to change, to want to be better, and to want to have a happier life. They cannot solely 100% rely on the others to help pick them out of their sticky situations. They too have to put up a fight and want to be better. But just a couple of comments. Again, you guys are gonna have to tell me what you think in the comment section down below. But I'm gonna go back to past Martin, and yeah, he'll finish it off from there. So thank you. Love you all. Hope you all had a beautiful day. Bye, Army. I'm gonna need your guys' comments in the comment section down below. Where do you think I'm on the right track and or falling off? What do you guys think as opposed to the first time? Maybe my thoughts there, and or the second time going back to revisit my thoughts here as well. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And that is going to do it right there. And until next time, peace.